Well, hello, it's Andrew here, Andrew Baisley, and I'm absolutely chuffed to ribbons to have been asked by David and Jackie to take part in the lockdown sessions. Great idea, and we badly need this. Not just the people who listen to it, but the people who play, because if you can't do gigs, you're sat at home thinking, I can't be bothered. You need incentives. Anyway, if you never heard of me and you don't know what I do, andrewbaisley.com is my website, and you will know, if you do know me, that I'm absolutely obsessed with the history of blues music. I'm sort of very mildly obsessed with guitars as well. So have a look on my website, and there's some pages there with the history of guitars and pictures of my own guitars. And if you click on them, you get me playing them. But anyway, the one I'm playing today is a Gibson made in 1918, a Gibson L1 archtop guitar. And the song I'm going to sing is pretty good use of this one, because it's pretty much the same guitar, slightly older, that Robert Johnson used. Part of my obsession with blues is the way I do these things. I used to do lectures, 6-hour all-day lectures for the Workers' Education Association, but the paperwork got so bad because they were funded by the Department for Education, and so they had to comply with all the things schools had to comply with. For example, you had to issue a questionnaire for the people who'd come on your course to say, bearing in mind what you've learned from today's lessons, how will you take this into the community to reduce racism, and also how do you identify terrorism within your courses and stuff like that. And bearing in mind that most of the people who came to those courses were people my kind of age who just wanted to go along and hear about something a bit interesting they didn't come across every day. So I got quite fed up with it and I left WEA. But one of the last ones I did was in Clevedon, and the lady who ran the Clevedon branch of the WEA had the same kind of feelings as me, and she set up a Clevedon privately run adult education centre called CASA, Clevedon Adult Studies Association, I think it's called. And she got me to do a couple over there for her, and I absolutely loved it. It's been great. We were going to do one again this year, but obviously that was never going to happen. So hopefully, if you're listening, book me again for next year, please. Anyway, the way I describe the history of blues, sorry, I'm probably getting boring already, is I look at what makes blues sound the way it does, all the bent notes and the structures and the subjects and that kind of stuff. And one thing that is so crucial to the blues, the development of the blues, is that very strong sense of rhythm and bass. And part of that is because these old blues singers of the 1920s and 30s, most of them were solo performers. They didn't get enough money to pay a whole band, so they played all on their own. They had no amplification, no microphones. By the way, I'm just using this because my voice is so much quieter than my loud old guitar. And they just had to be great entertainers, so their selection of words had to be quite popular. It wasn't all about sadness and sorrow, because people's lives were sad and sorry, so why would they want to hear about that when they were being entertained in the evening? But the poor old solo guitarist had to provide bass, rhythm, vocals, and solos, and interesting lyrics, all in one thing. And I just have so much admiration for these people. I've been trying to think of a typical song that might be reasonably entertaining, and I've got loads of them. But I think I'll do this one because this is one that people might actually know, because one of the popular bands who actually made a good job of recapturing the spirit of those old blues singers was, of all people, the Rolling Stones, because Keith Richards and Mick Jagger and Brian Jones in particular were huge fans of old blues singers. And this was one of the songs that I think they did a bloody good version of. It's called Love in Vain. Well, I followed her to the station with a suitcase in my hand. Well, I followed her to the station with a suitcase in my hand. Well, Well, it's hard to tell, it's hard to tell, when all your love's in vain, all my love's in vain. When that train came into the station, I looked her in the eye. When that train came into the station, I looked her in the eye. So lonesome, feel so lonesome, I couldn't help but cry. All my love's in vain. When that train left the station, there were two lights on behind. When that train left the station, two lights on behind. Well, the blue light was my blues, and the red light was my mind. All my love's in vain. When that train left the station, two lights on behind. When that train left the station, there were two lights on behind. Well, the blue light was my blues, and the red light was my mind. All my love and vain. Ooh, my Willie Mae. Ooh, my Willie Mae. Ooh, feel my woe, all my love and mine. Robert Johnson, Love in Vain. Thank you very much. See you again.